The idea, insight, or secret you need for massive impact is just moments away. It's time to claim your career crown. The podcast where business owners and entrepreneurs share the keys to the kingdom to help you open the vault to your greater success.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Petite to Queen's Claim Your Career Crown podcast. I'm your host, Lynn, and today I am joined by a wonderful guest, Dawn Stebbing. And Dawn and I recently connected and were able to spend a long weekend together that was intense and a lot of fun. And there's a whole story behind that. But today, Dawn and I are going to be talking about how first impressions matter and why you need a personal brand style in sales. Now, if you get a ton of value out of this episode, I would love to invite you to subscribe because it costs nothing to subscribe. Dawn is a dedicated sales and image expert and empowers women entrepreneurs to reach their full potential in sales with integrity. As a certified personal leader brand expert, communication mastery expert, and former president of the Association of Image Consulting International, Dawn combines her entrepreneurial experience in the beauty industry and insights into human behavior to guide professionals in elevating their careers and businesses. Her book, The Power is in the Pearl, offers practical strategies for developing a confident presence, complementing her hands-on approach to enhancing sales performance and fostering authentic leadership. With Dawn's guidance, clients discover how to tap into their existing strengths, refine their personal brand style, and build businesses that align with their vision and values. Whether you're looking to boost your sales career or cultivate ethical leadership skills, Dawn provides the expertise to support and help you achieve authentic success with unwavering integrity. Dawn, I'm thrilled to have you here. It's so fun to be back with you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's sort of dive in because I'm really interested in what inspired you to get started down this path of the importance of personal branding for sales professionals.
It's been a journey, but however, it's not just for sales professionals, but that's the arena that I work in. However, I've spent years in my career as an image consultant, helping corporate women, CEOs, CAOs, all the C-suite, the VPs, supervisors, managers, you name it, come up with their own personal brand. However, we're all selling too. We're all selling something, a product or a service. And what I loved about moving into this arena is that I have a whole background in sales myself. However, more and more people, especially in the last 5 years, I would say, have really taken their personal brand to a different level. And it's not the level that it used to be. It was almost like, oh, we forgot how we were supposed to show up and act and behave at the same time. So I took my expertise and I thought, this is the field I'm going to be working in because of the fact that we all need this. And it starts with our first impressions, as you said earlier. It's like, how do you make that big first impression out of the gate? And the first thing is really paying attention to, how do you want to show up? How do you want to be perceived? And what do you want people to say when you're not in the room about you? And when you think like that, you actually move towards, oh my gosh, how do I create this personal brand style for myself? And by creating it, it's comprised of 3 to 5 words that represent who you are today. How you want to be, how do you want to show up, how do you want to be seen? What are those wonderful words that describe who you are? Now, you might say, oh, I'm not creative, but everybody around you thinks you're creative. And everybody knows that you're creative, but you don't see yourself as creative. Well, that would be one of your words. And one of your words should represent that, what everybody sees you as. And there's people out there that know you better than you know yourself sometimes. They can come up with words for you. Some are going to be nice words, some are not be so nice words. But what I do recommend is taking the nice words and actually, working with those words. Now you're either in that space now or you're moving into that space. So I'll give you an example of, let's say you came from corporate and now you're an entrepreneur. That's a whole different look. That's a whole different behavior and a whole different communication style. So how do we communicate on a different level? And this is what I had challenges with when years and years ago is, oh, I know how to dress, I know how to look, I know how to show up. But now I'm moving into a different arena. Now, how do I present myself in a different way? I don't need the three-piece suit or being all buttoned up like a corporate person. It's just you really, really want to focus on who that person is and what are you stepping into now today. And if you're already in there, if your personal brand is off in any certain way, then we need to get it back on track. And actually, so you can attract and magnetize the clients that are meant to be in your arena.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a disconnect between like corporate and entrepreneurs, and even in your communication style. I've sort of had to unlearn the corporate speak.
True. Yes. Yes.
And as you said, that personal style and how you present yourself is different. I mean, I never went in for the three-piece suits. I always rebelled against that, but I still had a different, more structured look, I would say, than today. Today, it's definitely more soft and flowy. Why is having a personal brand style so important in your sales career or any career? Now, and I love what you said, because even if you're not in sales, air quotes here, you are still selling something. You're selling to the board, you're selling to your team, you're selling to another department head. So you are in sales.
Exactly. I think every time we walk out the door, we're our living brand 24/7. And it's who are we going to be in front of? And we got to think about that. Who are we going to be in front of? Who's our audience we're going to be in front of today? And how do we want to show up so we are represented and respected and our voices being heard? And a good example of this is when you are working in an environment, and I'll go back to the sales in just a second here. When you're working in an environment, let's say a corporate environment, and I bring this up because corporate environments are easier to kind of dissect a little bit. But you're in a meeting and you show up, this is for women, by the way. If you show up in a pink suit in a high-end meeting, people are going to look at you a little bit different, because who wears a pink suit in a meeting in a corporate environment? Now, there is a place and a time for a great pink suit, and it may not be in that particular meeting. So what I help my clients do when in the sales process, we're selling a product or we're selling a service, okay? People want to know, like, and trust you. And the first thing that they see is your face, how you show up, how you present yourself. This way before you even open up your mouth to speak. And when you can show up as you authentically, as you in your authentic style, then people are going to go, wow, I want to know more about her. I want to know more about him. I want to know more about, they look like they have something interesting to say. I want to chat with you. Because people have an aura about them when they walk in. They look the part. They feel great, and they just kind of walk a different way. They talk a different way. They smile. They have this whole different persona that they have about them, where people notice that right away. And it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I see that. So when it comes to sales, that's when you're selling to a customer, a client, potential company, whoever it may be. You want to make a good first impression, and that first impression is whether they are going to even acknowledge you or not. And some people might say something to the effect as, uh, e- e- if you're not dressed or looking the part, they might just blow you off. And I don't want people to think, well, I don't want to look like a Barbie doll. This is not about looking like a Barbie doll. This is looking like you. And I never ever vouch to change anybody's personality in any way, shape, or form. I'm one that actually brings out your unique gifts. And I dress you in a way that these unique gifts show up so you can go out. Once you take the focus off yourself, the focus goes on your message. And that's a huge piece right there. You want your message to come across in a big way. And when you're selling a product or a service, you also want to take your mind off of your product and service, and you want to put it on your client. You don't want to be fiddling around with what you look like and how you show up. You just want to make sure that the client is being heard and listened to.
Yeah, absolutely. You're singing to the choir on client thinking, as you know. I always do talk
Yes.
about that. That's why we're like instantly connected. So, Dawn, how do you do this when you're working with a client? Do you have a process? What does
I
that
do
look
have
like?
I do have a process. First of all, we have a really significant one-on-one call, and I really dig deep into what is it that what's holding them back to growing in their business and becoming like one of the top 1% in their industries. Is, what is stopping them? Most of my clients have come to me because they already know it's something externally versus internally. But what happened through this whole process was I hear internal stuff going on. And once we can address that internal piece, we can also put the external piece together with it. So it's almost like working from the inside out. A lot of people want to just fix the outside. Well, that's a quick fix, don't get me wrong, but that's not going to fix what's going on internally. Your mindset, how you sell, how you speak, how you come across, and how you approach people. Because you could be pushy, still look great, but be pushy. Or maybe you could still look great, but the words coming out of your mouth don't come out of your mouth the way it should. It's all of those components that are wrapped in one package, and that package is you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could also be where you never ask for the sale. You can
But
look great, but you never ask for the
that's
sale.
true too. That
So,
is true.
yeah. So, why do you feel that developing a personal brand style can be such a challenge?
Because people don't think in those terms sometimes. And I think that, it's okay to get up and just be me. And I think we've taken this a little out of context where we want to show up as who we are. We want to be unique, and nobody wants to be told what to do and how to do it and all this. I get that. Neither do I. I'm a rebel. I know you're not going to tell me what to do. However, I do respect myself. And I want my clients to respect themselves, because once you're respected, it's undeniable that somebody else will respect you too. So it's just it goes hand in hand. And why I think it's so important is because once we develop that persona about who we are and how we show up, we don't have to sit and think about it on a daily basis. When you go into your closet, you have clothes in your closet that represent who you are today. So you can pick anything out and it looks good on you. I mean, it's every outfit in that closet should look good on you. And if there isn't something that looks good on you, it should be in your closet, or it should be on the other side. And that could be your play clothes, or, grass cutting pants clothes, whatever, gardening clothes. But every time you walk out that door, your closet should represent who you are. And when you walk out that door, you have the confidence to go through your day. And that confidence is really important, and because that confidence comes across in your messaging, comes across in how you speak, how you act, how you speak with people and your clients for that matter. So you want people to go, gosh, Lynn, you look fabulous today. And Lynn, when you said what you said about how you dressed for the day and how you look and how you took it down from a corporate setting to where you are today, you found your style because you have obviously critiqued who you are today. You've obviously found the words that represent who you are today. And you also have a softer piece to you. And I've seen you in colorful clothes, and I know you love, love color. And color, I can't say enough about color. Color, we see color way before we see anything else. And color is a happy place to be. It makes people happy. They smile more when you're wearing color. So that's a good approach.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's I happen to love the colors I wore today, and it's just like when last night I chose what I was gonna. I went, oh, I love this, and it
There
was
you
like,
go.
pull this out,
Yes.
and but that's a thing, a lot of my it's like there are some things that I'll wear in different types of settings. To your point, and but I think that especially after coming out of COVID and really switching so much things to virtual, I have really picked up that people have developed a blind spot around their personal brand because it may be virtual, but you're still showing up to that meeting, to that event, to that whatever it is. Uh, and I've been, and it immediately it does communicate something.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm projecting a little bit here, but I'd love to hear your take on why the personal brand has literally typically, in my view, become a blind spot.
Again, well, let me go here.
And not for
One,
everyone, but for many.
well, right. And because a lot of things have gone, there's a blind spot everywhere today. I can see it everywhere. But I want you to think in terms, let me go back to your question. Why is it a blind spot? Is because I think when we went to business casual, they took business casual to a whole nother level. And I'll give you, for instance, my husband was in sales and he was at the top of the sales game and he was one of the top salespeople in his company. And when they went to business casual, he started wearing khakis and polo shirts and stuff. And I thought, that look does not look great on you. And he'll go, why? What? And I said, and I said, honey, I said, listen, for where you are in your career, you want to look the part because you are pulling in that type of a client right now. Is dress pants and a dress shirt. If that should be your casual, your business casual, not a polo shirt and khakis. Now, there's a place and a time for that. However, but a lot of people didn't understand that because this is where it went wrong is everybody has a guidebook in their company and they did not redo the rules, the dress rules in those guidebooks when they did this. And a lot of people took, okay, now we can wear jeans on Friday. Well, jeans. Okay, so did they ever specify what kind of jeans? No, not until after everybody started coming in with the ripped jeans and they're the ugliest jeans that they probably could have had on or the ones that don't fit them appropriately. We just, nobody came in and taught people what it really was about until after it got out of hand. So now we were trying to fix it. And then when COVID hit, we all sat in our houses and wore pajamas. And we were getting on Zoom. I mean, you'd be lucky if anyone combed their hair, brushed their teeth, washed their face, and put on a decent shirt. So we saw a lot of that. But what I really want to say about this is we want to think about customer experience. What do you want your customer experience to be about you? Even when you're on Zoom calls, like your background, how you show up. Now, most people can't see the bottom. They only see from your waist up most of the time,
Yeah.
unless you get up. Hopefully you're wearing pants. That's been a joke. Yes. But for the most part, if you can look presentable from the head down to your waist, and you're talking on Zoom and you feel good in what you're wearing and you look good like I said, it's who you are. You want to be representing you, not a model down the street, not the Barbie doll effect. It's you. Who are you and how do you want people to experience you when you first get on the call together? And when they can have that experience, they know, like, and trust you. I mean, you're going for the know, like, and trust. So
Yeah.
that's where we're going with this.
Yeah, and that is so true. And I want to go back to your statement about color, because that I realized that is a big difference of when I with the corporate life and even the first few years of consulting, and now I wear a lot more color, and I love it. I love wearing color, uh, and that's something that I didn't feel that I really could do in that and I like you, I was a little bit of a rebel. I always pushed the envelope, but definitely, and it's sort of like, oh yeah, now's my time. I'm going to wear as much color as I want. Oh my goodness. So, Dawn, what should our listeners do next about presenting their personal brand style?
Well, I would love for anyone that is really thinking about upping their game in their personal brand style, elevating that to the next level and to where you are today. I would love it for you to reach out and get some help. And I'm here for anyone that would like that. They can reach out to me and my email is dawn@dawnstebbing.com. But take it to the next level. Don't be just okay. We want you to be great, great for who you are and where you are at right today.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. Dawn, is there anything you wish I had asked you?
No, but I love the fact that you came up with color because we as a society don't look at color as where we want to be seen because we don't like to stand out. And this is where I love to take my clients. I love to take my clients in a place where they stand out amongst their competition. The only way you're going to get ahead is to be ahead and to stand out amongst everybody else that's doing the same thing you're doing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Hmm.
That great advice. So, Dawn,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for sharing why first impressions matter and why you need a personal brand style in any career and certainly in sales. I know that our listeners are going to want to know more about you and where they can find you.
They can go to dawnstebbing.com, pretty easy, dawnstebbing.com, and go and download my lead magnet, and it's how to become an industry powerhouse. And I'd love to have a chat with you also.
All right. So we'll make sure that that link is right below so that Dawn's one click away. And I want to thank everyone who tuned in today. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you. This show is for you. And it's been such an informative discussion. And Dawn, thank you again. I really appreciate your coming on today.
Thank you for having me, Lynn. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
What was your biggest takeaway from this episode? I would love to hear about it. It's important to share the things you love. If you loved this episode, a 5-star review really helps keep the podcast coming to you regularly. Also, if you want to get more sales strategies to grow your business, make sure you subscribe right now. If you want to get results even faster, I invite you to download my sales strategy checklist at petitetoqueen.com/checklist. This has been Lynn Whitbeck, host of Claim Your Career Crown. I'll see you next time.